I also want to talk about my artistic vocabulary, not vocabulary. So what is an art vocabulary? I think I'll put that in a different color. And all I have here is my fine liner. I want to emphasize the word you. We'll just do that with red right here and hope that this dries in the time that I talk here. Vocabulary. Now, I've been thinking about this for several weeks now. What do I want my vocabulary to be? I'm going to take this and just kind of lift. Maybe that'll help it dry a little. Vocabulary. I want this mini tutorial to be about you. But the only way that I can make it to be about you is to make it be about me. I want this to be a mini tutorial that explores my vocabulary and maybe picking up on some things that I'm doing to find my own style. And perhaps if you're of a mind to, or if you want to, or even if you're just thinking about it, you don't have to do anything like I'm doing, but just by the process of watching the video, maybe even think about some of the things that I'm pointing out here and find your own style. So I've been thinking about, what is a vocabulary? What does that mean to me? And that's what this page is all about. Just what is an art vocabulary to me? What does that mean to me? And you can see I've been pointing out, I've been drawing different things as I think about them. What the vocabulary is not to me, and what it's not to me is, even though you can go on the internet and even on YouTube and you can find videos referencing different techniques, different terms, explaining what art is, explaining what form is, what value is, what perspective is. That's not what, even though it's a part of my vocabulary, that's not what this mini tutorial is about. So it's not a reference book. This is not going to teach you how to go research and document all different types of art terms and art styles and you know, like pointillism and abstract and realism. That's not what a vocabulary really is for the purpose of this tutorial. So what is it? Well, I think for me, it's the process that we go through to find or develop my voice or your voice and or art style. So how are we going to do this? What methods are we going to take? The first thing is just to think about it. I don't think we think about it enough. And asking yourself, looking around, and maybe just a little clarifying and confirming to yourself that, yeah, this is really where I'm at, or this is where I'm not at. Then developing that and growing. So that's kind of where I want this to go. So I've been asking my questions. First thing is, Mary, what kinds of media do you like to work with and why? Well, looking over my past year and a half since I've been putting up videos, I've been doing a lot of art journaling. And of course, that media is the mediums, the gessos, the glazes, the paints that I use. So what do I like to work with? I like to do a lot of art journaling. What else have you seen me do? Well, in the context of art journaling, you've seen me do my stained glass scrap paint. And actually, I got started doing that because I watched a video by Gina where she was saving off her Gina Ahrens, was saving off her scrap paint in a book rather than just, throwing it on her palette and then cleaning it up with a rag or something like that. She would actually put it in a book, and I thought that I wasn't putting mine in a book. I was at that time putting them on tags. I thought, well, that's kind of cool, putting it in a book. Well, I found this book, and you've seen me do my stained glass if you've been following me, my scrap paint stained glass. I have this needlework book, and I save off all my scrap paint in that needlework book, and then I've been theming that book of a stained glass where I just go in and play with that scrap paint. And the scrap paint is really the base, and I've been having a lot of fun doing that. So that's what I've been working with. And you've seen me do faces. I do a lot of faces. I have fun with the faces. You've seen me do urban sketching. And the big one that I've enjoyed recently are the letters. Letters both in the letter journals that I've been doing with Crazy Island Family, but also the letters that I write to you in my videos. So I'm going to put letter videos. I have more fun with those, and that's become very much something that I personally enjoy. And so that's how it gets back to vocab-you-lary. And then, of course, with that, I've gotten into fountain pens, which I'm still exploring. I wish I could afford some of the new ones. The inks. Not so much calligraphy yet, but that's in the developing portion of this. So let's just put the letters here. What else have I been doing? Well, I've been doing, in the past, I've done a lot of swaps, art swaps. Not doing as many of those this year because I want to do more things like this. I want to do things more like this that I am enjoying. But the swaps took me into cards, the tags. Of course, I've always done tags, ATCs. So as I've been thinking on this, I've still got a couple more pages to go. List as many projects as you can think of that you worked on in the past 5 years. A time frame. Well, I sort of did that in here. Media that I like to work with, of course, is paint. Paint. Pen and ink. I should put paint and paper. Journals. I want to put scraps. And then media, I'm going to have to include the needlework, although I haven't, in the past 5 years I have. And I don't like to call it cross-stitch. I like the term needlework. I think needlework just gives it some credibility, some respectability. I like the term needlework over cross-stitch. Cross-stitch tends to be, for me, even though, beautiful work out there. I've gone to shows and I just sit and the work is just, some of this work is just gorgeous, out of this world. And to call it cross-stitch, to me, kind of diminishes it, even though that's what it is. Needlework, to me, just says, this is something to be respected. The time and the effort and the expense that some of these people who do beautiful, beautiful projects. Designing. I like to design my scissors. Designing even in my art journals. I like quotes. I love going out and finding quotes and illustrating them. And that kind of gets in with the art journaling. I've done a lot of research on the letters, mail art. And this is something I don't talk about too much in my videos. I talked about it in some of the forums that I was a part of. Last year I did kind of like a personal research project on the art in letters. And some of the things out there I found just go, okay, Mary, we're doing letter journals. It's kind of a new activity within the art groups and the journaling groups on the internet, on the YouTube videos and on Facebook and all of that. But mail art has existed long before 2010. Long before Jenna Belly and Miss Lady Petal and Crazy Island Family Journals and even Mary's letters. You cannot believe, even way back into the 1400s, they communicated with letters. If you wanted to talk to somebody miles and miles away, you wrote them a letter, and in a lot of those letters, you will find, when you're looking at this on the internet, and these libraries and these museums have all this documentation of all these famous artists, you'll find letters where they actually drew in their letters. I think it's fascinating. It's not just... What I'm saying is it's mail art and letter journals or letters, art in letters, is not just a recent discovery. It's been going on for years. So I find that very fascinating.